Hello everyone, it's Professor Sadiq Noor, and today I'm gonna show you in this video how to use financial functions, data tables, and the amortization schedules. After watching this video, the objective of this video, you should be able to assign name to the cells and refer to the cell in a formula using the assigned name. Determine the monthly payment of a loan using the financial function PMT. Describing the financial function PV, which is the present value, and the future value. Creating a data table to analyze the data in a worksheet. To create the amortization schedule. To control the color thickness of an outline and border. To add a pointer to the data table. To analyze the worksheet data by changing the values, and also reusing range names and print section of a worksheet. Set the print option, protect and unprotect the cells in a worksheet, hide and unhide the worksheet and the workbook. Use the formula checking feature in Excel. So let's start. Now I'm going to start Excel. I will go to the search in my window 11. And as I said, E for Excel, I got it here. I will click on it. So always we're going to start with a blank. So there's no data file or anything. We have to start from scratch. So blank workbook. As from my previous videos, the Excel workbook is named as book 1 now, but once I change the name, it's going to change it. Also, this area here is your quick access toolbar. Below the access toolbar is your tabs. This is your ribbon. This is your formula bar, right? And this is your name box. So obviously, this area here is your tabs. And then this area here, from the left to the right, is what we call the ribbon. In Microsoft, we call this ribbon. So what's inside the ribbon actually is the command. And the ribbon consists of groups. So the group has names, style, sales, alignment, and these are all the commands, right? And then when you change the tab, the ribbon is going to change. Now this one here, as I did mention in my previous videos, this is your formula bar. Formula bar. Anything that you type, any formula you use is going to display in the formula bar. And this box here is your name box. Name box. All right. So the name box actually indicate to you where currently you are located in the worksheet. And this is your worksheet. This whole thing here. The worksheet consists of columns and rows. Right? So the columns are represented by alphabet, whereas the rows are represented by numbers. Right? So here we start with sheet 1, only one sheet, and then if you want to add more a worksheet in your workbook, then you can click the plus sign to keep on adding, right? The scroll bar to move the worksheet horizontally and then vertically. here, right? These two arrows here. And then this is the status bar. It says we are ready to go. And then for accessibility, we are good to go. There's no issues so far. This is the normal view in Excel, what you see now. And then you can change to layout, print layout or page layout, and so on. This is the zoom magnifier. If you want to zoom it down, if you want to increase the zoom, you move the bar to the right hand side. Now what you see on the screen is 100%. Now I will zoom. So I will zoom it so you can see well. There you go. Now in this chapter, you're gonna learn about how to use the PMT function, which which allow you actually the PMT function in Excel we use or it allow us to determine the monthly payment for a loan and PV. We have another function PV. The PV function which allow you to determine the present value of an investment, right? So the next thing that you're going to learn in this is how to create a data table. A data table is a range of cells that shows the resulting values when one or more input values are varied in a formula. You use the data table to automate the data analysis and organize the results returned by Excel. Another important loan analysis tool is the amortization schedule. So the amortization schedule is a schedule that shows the loan balances and the payment amount applied to the principal and interest for each payment period. So that's what we call is amortization schedule, right? I will try to write it down here. So the amortization schedule, right? So the amortization schedule is a schedule that shows the loan balances and the payment amount applied to the principal and interest for each payment period, right? And then the next one is the data table. Data. So these are some of the functions and some of the important features of Excel we're going to be using in this video to demonstrate them and make you aware of how to use the data table, the amortization schedule, PMT, the PV function, which is a financial function, right? So let's start creating the worksheet. So the first thing is that we have to name it, right? We have to name. So the first thing, before we type anything in our worksheet, we have to, obviously, we have to change the theme, right? We have to change the theme of the blank workbook. So to do that, we will go to page layout, and then we're gonna go to the themes. The first group on the ribbon when you click the page layout tab is the themes. So in the theme now we are looking for parallax. 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 So scroll all the way down. So parallax. There you go. That's the parallax. parallax. Below the gallery, click on it. Once you change the theme, now we're going to enter the section and the row title and the system date. All right. So what we want to do here is we have to go to C5 here, and then we're going to enter the title as mortgage data summary. Now we have to select C5, the mortgage data summary, all the way to F5. So highlight. And then we have to go to the back to the home tab. Look for the group in the ribbon that says alignment, which is the third in line. And then click on merge and center. We want to merge these cells. Now we have to go to the cell style, which is the fifth in line under the home tab. The group that says styles. Click on the cell styles. And then we have to assign H3. H3. All right. And then we need to click the middle align button under the alignment group. The alignment group again here. And then we want to click the middle align, right? So that vertically center the text in the selected cell. Now, the next is we need to adjust the column width and the row height, right? So in this case, we have to drag the column A and B. So select A and hold the shift key, select B. And then we wanna, both these column has to be 1 inches. So you kind select any one of them. And then you see now 7, so we have to make it 1. 1. So both are 1. Now we have to select the column C, and we have to drag the C column, C, and go to the right of the column C. When you see the 2 split arrows, 1975 we need. $19.75. So I'm getting 78. So if you want to get exact, you will go to the cell group, format, column width, and then you will specify we want to specify 1975 and then click OK. Now we have to select D, the column D, and then all the way to F, right? So click on to F, select, holding the shift key. We want this to be 17. 17. All right. Now we have to click the row 1. And then we have to select row 2. So hold the shift key, select row 2. Click on the 2. And then we want to the tip, the height, the screen tip should indicate 9. So what is now 14? So we need this to be 9, exactly 9, which is 15 pixels. Right? Now, after we did this, the next now we have to go to C7, C7, and then in C7, we have to type price. We have to type annual, annual interest rate. Press the enter key. Percentage down. We want the term. Now we have to go to E6, column E and row 6. And we have to type down payment. And then we have loan amount, monthly payment, total interest, and then we have total cost. All right. Now we have to name the sheet. It says sheet 1. So move your cursor over the sheet 1 and double click it until you see the gray highlight. Now type override the sheet 1 by mortgage payment calculator. And then press the enter key. Now we have to save this workbook. It says book 1. So book 1 is not a good name at all. So we have to give it a name according to what we are doing in here. So you will go to file, save or save as, doesn't matter in the beginning. I will hit browse. I will go to my desktop. I have a folder I created, Excel lecture. Double click it. And then I'm gonna change the book 1 name to SC. The name can be anything. And EX underscore 4. And then underscore mortgage. And then click save. I'm gonna save it under the Excel lecture folder. Perfect. Now, as you see, instead of being book 1, now we have a specific name for this workbook. And the workbook is saved to this PC. Now the next is creating a cell names. A cell name is a name you assign to a cell or a range. You can then use the name in a formulas in place of the cell or range address. Sometime in a formula, you might say A1 plus B1, right? And then now I don't know what is A1 and what is B1 that you are using in the form. But if you have a name for the cell, it's gonna be easy to determine what is A, what is B in here, right? So it's very easy to understand while using them in your formula. Now to do that, we have to go to D7, and then we have to hold the control key down to select the non-adjacent range. And we have to select F6 all the way to F10, all right? And then release your finger. After you did that, now you can also do right click and then go to format cells, and then we have to select under the number group tab here under the format cell dialog box. We need to be sure that we select currency, the third one, and then we have to select the fourth one, which indicate for negative numbers is gonna turn to red with a parenthesis, right? And then we need to adjust the number of decimal from 2 to 0. So you can spin it or you can type in the decimal places 0. And then we have to click OK. It's gonna take this formation now. All right. Now we're gonna enter the loan data. So in this 7, we're gonna type 449000. All right. In D8 is the annual rate, so 4.125%. So we need to increase one more decimal place to make it 4.125. So go to the number group and increase one more decimal. Increase, not decrease, increase. So perfect. That's the one, increase. We want to increase to 3 decimal places after the 4. Then in D9, the down percentage down is 10%. All right. And then in D10, the term means the number of years in the term is 15. So 15 will be in D10 for the number of year in the term. All right. Next, we need to create the name based on the row titles now. Why do we need to name based on the row title? Naming the cell you plan to refer in a formula helps to make the formula easier to read and remember also, right? So in this case, what we need to do is we have to select D7, C7 all the way to D10, right? And then we're gonna go to formulas, the tab formulas. The second group is define names, right? And then because we highlighted, so I will go with the option says create from selection because I selected. So click here. Once you clicked it, now it says create the name from the value in the left. So because whatever in the left, I want to give this guy in the right the name of the left, right? So you will have to keep it as it is, left column. So this right-hand side will be given the name that is typed in the left-hand side column. So click OK. Now, if you go to D9, it's no more D9. You see here in the name box, it says down, right? If you go to D10, no more D10, it's term, right? So now we have to do also for the same thing for the other one too. So we need to select E6 all the way to F10, right? And then we're gonna go to create selection. create from selection. We want to use this cell, will take the name in the left hand side. So left column, create the name from the value in the left, and then click OK. So perfect. This one is done now. So if you go here in the name box, now all the cells has a name now, English name, right? It's very easy to understand what I have used in the formula. Now we need to enter the down payment amount formula using the names. Once you have created the names, you can use them instead of cell reference in a formula because they are easier to remember, right? So to do that, we're gonna go now to F6. We wanna find out the down payment. So you're gonna start with equal. Always you have to construct the formula with an equal, and then you have to hit P, and then from the drop down, scroll down until you see the name that you have given. As you see, these are function, but the cell number will look, the cell name will look like this, price, right? So you will have to, that's the price entry. So you will double click it, right? The price, and then you will say multiply. Now D. Now look for the D. D means will be your down payment, right? D. D. This will be the down. So let's go to the D. It should be down. This one here. The 10% down. So now, instead of saying equal, the price is D. This is the cell reference. And then you're gonna say D7 multiply by D9, right? So in Excel, usually we use like this. We have to refer the value by the cell references. But now this one is very understandable. It's very easy to remember. To find the down payment, you have to have the price multiplied by the down payment. Sorry, the percentage down, right? So it's very easy as compared to the one here. Now I don't know what is D7 multiplied by D9 that you have used to find out the down payment, right? So that's the benefit of having the cell named. Now you will press the enter key to execute the formula. So it's 4,900. Now we're gonna find out the F7. F7 is what? The loan amount, right? So the loan amount is gonna be equal the price. You will that's the point mode now. You're gonna point to the cell. So the price minus the down, right? Minus the down payment. So not this one, I will delete this. Minus down payment. Now press the enter key. Perfect. Now the next is to find the monthly payment. So the function that we have in Excel, we call PMT. So the PMT function is used to determine the monthly payment. So the PMT function is a financial function that calculates the payment schedule required to repay a loan based on a constant payments and a constant interest rate, right? So obviously, the PMT has some arguments, right? Like here with the parentheses. So you need to have the rate, comma. The next argument you will be asked is to provide the period, which is the term of the loan, the period. And the last one will be the loan amount. So three arguments that the PMT consists of. It's very easy financial function. So you need the loan amount, loan amount, right? And then we will have to close the parentheses. Now for the PMT, you will have to have the rate, the periods, and the loan amount. So let's use the PMT to find us the monthly payment. So we have to go to F 8, and then we're going to start with equal. The function is PMT, right? The moment that you typed PMT, now when you see in the shortcut menu, you will double click it. So the first argument in a black color, see, is dark, is the rate. So the first thing we have to provide the rate. So the rate is your annual interest rate, this one, divided by 12 month, comma, now comma. Now you see I moved to number period. That's the term. So 12 month multiplied by the term, which is 15. Then multiply, sorry, not multiply, comma, we're done with it, comma. Now the last one is the present value, the loan amount. So the loan amount is gonna be, the loan amount is here, right? Is the F7. So loan amount. Now close the parenthesis. Now press the enter key. I will leave it for a few seconds on the screen. Now it says that in red, in account, when you are paying something going out of the money getting out of your pocket, it become like red and it's negative, right? So now if you want to remove the negative to make it as normal without being negative like this, so negative, negative, that become what? Positive. So we're gonna go back here and double click the F8, and the formula is gonna pull up, and then we're gonna go to the left of the P, we're gonna add minus. So minus, minus to make it positive, right? Now press the enter key. Now 3,014 a month. Now the next one is to determine the total interest and the total cost. The total interest and the total cost, right? So the FV function returns the future value of an investment based on the scheduled payment and the unchanging interest rate, right? Now, let's go to B9, F9 and start with equal. And then we need 12 multiplied by the term, which is the 15, multiplied by the monthly payment, this one here, monthly payment, minus the loan amount, and then press the enter key. So the total interest will be 138,502. Now the last one is the total cost, equal always the price, which is D7, plus the total interest. Now press the enter key to determine the total cost. All right. So the total cost is gonna be 587,502. Now let's say that you have another loan, right? So what you're gonna do is you will go to D7, right? It's like a calculator now. So I will type 75. That's a new loan now I have. And then the annual interest I receive is 5.250. And then in D9, I have down payment, I put 12%. And then I had it for 10 years. As you see, it calculates everything, and whatever loan, whatever price of the item is, and that's just you need to enter the values for each of the sale, and that will determine that. Now we have to get it back to the actual, so I have to undo what I did. So Control and Z, right? So that's our actual loan. Now the next one is using data table to analyze the worksheet data. Now, the problem with what I have right now here, right, is that every time I have a new stuff that I bought or new, I want to check the new pricing with a different annual interest rate, I have to delete this one, right? I have to delete like the way I show you. I deleted it, then I put the new pricing for the new stuff, right? So what about this one then? I will lose it, right? So the good thing is to keep all the interest rate in front of you, and then it's gonna determine to you what will be the monthly payment for each of these, right? So to do that, you have to use the data table to analyze the worksheet data, right? So you already have seen that if you change the value in a cell, Excel quickly recalculate any formulas that references the cell directly or indirectly. But what if you want to compare the result of the formula for several different values? You see that? Several different values. I cannot do with this one. Writing down or trying to remember all the answer to the what if question will be, unwisely to do that. If you use a data table, Excel will organize the answer in a worksheet for you. And then you're gonna see if I have a different kinds of down payment or interest rate, then it's gonna tell me what will be the monthly payment for each of the annual interest rates, right? So now we're gonna do that here. To do that, to create the data table, we're gonna enter the data table title and the column titles, right? So we have to go to C12, C12, and then we're gonna type varying interest rate schedule. as the title of the data table. Now we have to go back to C5, and then we have to go back to the Home tab, and then we have to use the Format Painter because I want to copy the formation. So double click it or click it, and then what we need is click the C12. All right, perfect. Now what we want to do is we have to remove the Format Painter feature. So you will go back to the clipboard and then click the yellow brush again. So if you click now, I have both the formation here, right? So we copied the heading 3 format that we use here to here. Now the next is in C13. In C13, we're gonna type annual interest rate. In D13, I'm gonna type monthly payment. In E13, I'm gonna type the total interest paid. And then in F13, I'm gonna type total cost, right? Now we have to go to C15. So I will shrink it down. So you're gonna see what I'm doing here. C15. In C15, I'm gonna start the annual interest rate from 3.875%, right? So we need to have 3 decimal places. So you will select the C15 again, and you will go to the number group under the home and click on increase. So 3.87. We have 3 decimals. You see the interest rate here. Now, the next I'm gonna say 4.000%. All right. So we need to go back and increase. Now we need to select C15 and 16, highlight them, and then hold the fill handle in the bottom of the cell. You see a square box again. Move your cursor until you see a teeny plus sign. Hold it, and we have to fill it until C24. So that's our interest rate. All right. So this is our interest rate. All right. Now we need to enter the formulas in the data table, right? So in D14, what is the monthly? Monthly payment is this one here, right? So that's F8. So you're gonna say equal F8, whatever in F8, move it to D14. Then we will go to the next one, E14. We will say equal F9, which is the total interest that we had in the top. And then the total cost, F14 will be equal F10, right? So we are moving the values, F10. So whatever we had here in the top, we just said this cell is equivalent to this one here. Now we can also apply the currency. So which in our case already we have the dollar sign there. So if you look here, this here is varying interest rate are input values to be submitted for the cell D8. D8. What is D8? The annual interest rate, right? Now we need to define the range as a data table, right? So to do that, we have to select C14, C14, all the way to F24. This is our table. That's where the table is going to be constructed. So now we need to define the range as a data table because you want Excel to generate the monthly payment, monthly interest, and the total cost for the various interest rate, right? So that's why we highlighted. Now we need to go to the data tab, and then we have to go to what if analysis under the forecast, and then we need to select the third data table. When you click the data table, you will be asked, is it the row input, is it a row input or a column? So obviously it's a column, right? So our input column will obviously be D8. That's our interest that we have here, right? So that's not the row. Let me delete it. Go to the column input cell and select as a column, not as a row. So the column input cell is D8. And then we will click OK. So everything is done. Now we will shrink it down so that we could read these guys. As now you see I have a bunch of decimal places. So select D15 all the way to F24. Go back to the home, and then we have to remove the decimal, delete the decimals. All right. So from here now, and then if you want the dollar sign, and then take off the decimal. Now, the thing is, we can see here, if I had 4.125, this interest rate, that will be my monthly payment. And instead of going here and changing this and then I might not be able to remember what was if I had 4.125, right? Because I changed it in the previous exercise I show you. If you keep on changing the price and the annual interest rate, then obviously I might not remember what was the previous one that I had, right? But with the data table now, I can see everything in a clear screen here in a clear way that if I have this interest, that will be my monthly. If I had 5%, then it's gonna be 3,196 a month. That will be how much total interest I have to pay, and then it's gonna cost me 620,107, right? So the next thing now, we're gonna be creating what we call the amortization schedule. So the next step in this video, I'm gonna create the amortization schedule section on the right side of what we have right now. So the amortization schedule shows the beginning and the ending balance of a loan and the amount of payment that applies to the principal and the interest for each year over the life of the loan. So if a customer wanted to pay off the loan after 6 years, the amortization schedule section will tell the loan officer what the payoff will be, right? So let's create that and let's see it practically. So the first thing is we have to go to H5. H5. So I have to go a little bit up. H5. And then we need to type this amortization. Now we need to copy the formation. So click C5 and then go to the Home tab. The clipboard is the first group and click on the Format Painter. And then let's go back. And copy to H5. So click on H5. Right? Now we want to select L5, right, to merge. So what we merge is what we had here, but we want to merge the L also. So to do that, we will remove the merge the cells. You see here under the alignment is already been merged. So I will select to remove it, right? So now you have to select all the way to L5. And now we have to go back to the alignment. We have to click on merge and center. Perfect. All right. So we did that to merge the and center the section of the title over the selected range. Now we have to see if we have the H3 there. We don't have the H3. So I will go back to the style group, the cell, and then we have to give it the H3. Perfect. Now we need to enter the column headings in row 6. So here in H6, we have to put year, all right? And then we have to say beginning balance. Then we have principal paid. Then we have interest paid. And then we have ending balance. All right. Now we have to position our to the G here. And then we have to drag the G to 2.2. So click on the G. And we want 2.2. 2.22. Perfect. All right. Now we have to go to the H column. And then we have to stretch it to 10. 10. Look at the screen tip, right? Now from I all the way to L, hold the shift key. And then we have to change it to 17. So you can also do from here. You can go to the format under the cell. You can go to the column width and you can just type the number here 17. So all these selected column will change simultaneously. Perfect. Right. Now we have to select H6, H6 all the way to L6. And then we have to click the center. We have to center it. So go to the alignment, center. All right. Now let's go to S7. And now here we have to type, we have to create a series of integers using the fill handle, right? So we in H7, we're gonna say 1, the first year, right? And then the second year. Then we're gonna highlight this and then we're gonna fill it until 15. So we have 15 years, right? Because here what's the term is 15, right? So 15. Now, after we did that, the next thing we want to do now is the beginning. The beginning balance is equal F7, which is the 404,100. That's your loan amount. That's your beginning amount. Now, the principal paid will be equal I7, which is your beginning balance minus L7, L7, right? I7 minus L7. All right, so I don't have anything there yet because it's still we didn't complete, right? So the next one is now the interest. We have to use the if condition for the interest, right? So you're gonna start with equal if, and then when you see the if in the shortcut menu, double click it. So the first argument in dark is the logical test. What is your logical? If what? Open a parenthesis, which is already there. So type I7 if the beginning balance is greater 0, comma, then 12 month multiplied by F8, F8, and we have to make the F8 to be absolute. So hold the FN and F4. To make a cell absolute, you have to press or hold down the FN and the F4 key together, right? So is the FN at the same time you have to press hold down F4 to make the cell to be absolute. Absolute. All right? Like we want to make it fixed. So let's go back to the formula. So we are here. So you said if The beginning balance is greater 0, which is true. The I-7 is bigger than 0, right? Then 12 multiplied by the monthly payment, which is 3014. Make the 3014 F8 to be absolute by pressing what? Fn and F4 until you see the dollar sign before the column and before the row. Then minus J7, the principal paid. Otherwise, if the I-7 is not greater than 0, then give me 0 and close the parenthesis. Now push the enter key. Right? Now, let me confirm again the formula. Double click the cell. So if I-7 greater 0, 12 multiply by F8 minus J7, otherwise 0. All right. So now let's get to the ending and then we will see the negative. So in L7, start with equal. If, double click the if. So if H7 is less than equal D10, the term, make the D10 absolute, Fn and F4. Then comma, we have to the BV function, the present value, double click it. Then D8, make it absolute, Fn F4, divided by 12 month, comma, 12 multiply, open a parenthesis, D10, make it absolute, Fn and F4, minus H7, comma, minus F8, make it absolute, Fn and F4, close the parenthesis, comma, if it's false then 0. So if the H7, the interest, which is H7 is the first year, less than D10, the term 15, then the present value function D8 divided by 12 months and then 12 multiplied by D10 minus S7 and then comma minus F8. Perfect. All right. Now we need to copy the formula to fill the amortization schedule. So with the formula entered into the first row, the next step is to copy them to the remaining rows in the amortization schedule. So we will have a problem with the beginning balance, but let's leave the balance here. So highlight J7 all the way to L7 and fill it down for 15. All right. Now the beginning for this one will be equal 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 is gonna be in I8 is gonna be I7. So is L7. So L7, which is the ending balance, right? So now we will select the I8 and then we're gonna fill it down, right? So perfect. Everything look great. Now we need to enter the total formulas in the amortization schedule. So in I-22, I-22, we're gonna say subtotal. Now let's select J22 all the way to K22. So J22, K22, we will go to the editing group, click on the sigma sign and the sum. Perfect. Now I-23, I-23, down payment, all right? So K23 is gonna be equal F6. So just we copied the down payment to the selected cell in K23. Now I-24 is gonna be the total cost. Now K24, the formula is gonna be J22 plus K22 plus K23. Then press the enter key. Right, that gives us the total cost that we had here, is here, right? Now we need to format the numbers in the amortization schedule, right? So let's select I7, 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 and click the Format Painter. And then We have to drag it to K7, 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 all the way to L7. All right. Now select I8 all the way to L21. And then we have to do right click, format cells, and then in the number tab, we have to select currency, and then we have to select, if we have negative, we need them to turn to red, right? And then we don't want any decimals, so 0. And then we have to click OK. Now click anywhere to deselect. I add all the way to L. So that's what we have so far. Perfect. All right. So we need the dollar sign also. So go back, right click, format cells, and then we want currency, and then click OK. So we have the dollar sign amount. Now, next is to formatting the worksheet. We need to add a custom border to our range. Border can be used to distinguish the different functional part of a worksheet. So to do that, we have to select C5. So I will shrink it down because all is formation now. So C5, all the way to F10. All right. And then we have to do right click, format cells, and then we have to display the border. Click on the border tab. Now we have to click on the color. And then we are looking for column row 1 and column 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is this lamb SN2? Right. Now the next thing is we need to click the medium border in the style area. So this will be this one here. And then column 2 and row 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Now we have to click the outline. Perfect. So by clicking the outline button in the preset area to preview the outline border in the border area. All right. Now we need to click the light border in the style. Click the light, this one, right? Column 1 and number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one. All right. And then we have to click this, the vertical line button, and then we have to click OK. Now let's click OK and click anywhere to see what you did. Perfect. Next, now let's select C6, C6, all the way to D6. And then right click and then go to Format Cells. Format Cells. Right, and click the border tab, which we are already there. And then we have to select the lamp color, which is already here. And then the light one is here, right? And then we have to click the horizontal and then click OK. All right. So obviously we need this guy here. So highlight and then right click. Right. Next, we need to add border to the varying interest rate, this one now, right? So by applying the similar formatting to different section of the mortgage calculator, you are creating more cohesive end product. Now let's select C12 all the way to F24. And then we will do right click, format cells. We already in the border section. We have to click the color, lamp, and then we have to click the medium. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one here, right? And then we have to click the outline, will be medium. Now let's click the light one. And then we have to click the vertical in the border area, this one here. Now let's click OK. All right. Now we will select this. We will do now. You can also do it from here. You can click on here. It's gonna open the format cell. Then you will go to border and then you will select this and then you will hit the horizontal. Perfect. All right. Next, Now the next one is we have to add the border to the amortization schedule. So select H5 all the way to the end here, right? Now we're gonna do the same thing. Either you can right click and format cell, or you're gonna click from the ribbon the number, and then you can click this arrow here, or you can just right click after selecting the cells, format cells. We are in the border, so we need to have the same thing. We need the lamp color first, then we need medium, this, and then outline under the preset. Then we have to click OK. All right. Now we have to select L6, H6 all the way to L6. And then we're gonna do right click, format cell. And then we're gonna select the light one here. And then we're gonna hit the bottom border and click OK. All right. Now I will do undo first. I will do it again. So you selected all these here, and then you did right click, format, and then you want the lamp color. You want it to be this outline, the vertical line, right? And click OK. Now you will select H6 all the way to L6. Do right click, format cells, the lighter one, and horizontal. Click OK. Now we have to select now H22 all the way to L22. Format cell. Then you do right click. Now we need to do H22 all the L, that should get lame light upper border. And then click OK. All right. Perfect. Now we're gonna add the title to the worksheet. To add a title to the worksheet. So let's go to C3, and we're gonna type Shore Bank. Shore. So select the C3 all the way to L3. Let's go to the alignment and then click on merge and center. Right. Now we have to go to the cell styles under the style group, cell style. And then we have to select the title. Now we have to deselect to see what we have done. All right. Now, the next one we want to do is to use the border and fill color to visually define and group the financial tools. All right. So in this case, we have to change the height of the row 25. Row 25. And then we want to be 15. 15. Now let's change the width of the column M to 1. M to 1. One. Now select the range B2, 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 all the way to M25. Perfect. And then we will add a blue accent with, so we have to have a border. So right click the selected cell, format, border, and we want so it should be column 5, row 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue, right? And then we need the style to be number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one. And then we have to click the outline. And then we have to click OK. While the range is still being selected, we have to go to the home. And then we have to use the fill. The fill. And then we want to have white background. And then let's click anywhere. Now we need to select D6, 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 and we want to enter input data below. Let's center it. So go back, center. Now select the D6, and then we need the D6 to fill it. So go to the bucket, and then we are looking for lamb accent 60. Right? Now select D7 all the way to D9. Go to the bucket to fill it down, and we need 80%. It's too light. All right. Now let's save the workbook from the quick launch. Right. Now highlighting the cell in a data table using the conditional formatting. Conditional formatting, as we talked about in my previous video, is the formatting condition is to highlight any specific number. For example, if you want to find out all the employees who make more than 80,000 yearly, I will highlight them in a different color to make them different from the other employees. Whereas if you have a student whose average is less than 60%, so I want to indicate them in red because these are the students who have the average less than 60. That means they're gonna be failing the class out of 25 students, right? So let's do now the conditional formatting. Now to add the pointer to the data table using conditional formatting. So what we need to do that to make the row with the active interest rate stand out, you can add formatting that serves as a pointer to that row, right? So we're gonna be adding a pointer to the data table using conditional formatting. Why do we need that? That's to make the row with the active interest rate stand out. You can add formatting that serves as a pointer to that row. So to do that, let's select C15 all the way to C24. Click the Home tab, go to the Style group, click on Formatting, Conditional Formatting. Then we're gonna go to the Highlight Cells, and then we're gonna say equal to, and then we're gonna put here equal to 4.125% and click OK. Now, if I change the annual interest rate to, let's say, if I want to change it to 4.625. Now the indicator indicating the pointer is indicating to 6.6, right? So if your interest is 5, it's gonna highlight the one down there. All right. So I will change it back to what it was. Control Z to undo. Now next now, suppose that to enter a new loan. So you will go here and 250,000. And then the interest we get is 4.875. And then for 20, the down payment, we will leave it as it is. So let me undo 10, but it's 20, the term for 20 years. As you see, it's highlighting that I got 4.875%. All right. And all your amortization will change accordingly. All right. So if you want to change this, because our amortization for 15 years, so let's make it 15. At the end of the ending point will be 0. That's how much interest you're gonna pay at the end, the 15, the last year. All right. Now we have to change it back to what it was for Control and Z. Right. Now printing the section of the worksheet. Right. So to do that, we need to set up a worksheet to print. Specifying a print option allow you to conserve paper and toner, and to customize the layout of your worksheet on the printed page. Now to do that, let's go to page layout. You see the second group is page setup. Click on the down arrow, the launcher, and then it's gonna open the page setup dialog box. Now is landscape, a portrait. We wanna fit everything in one page, so fit it to one page. And then we have to click OK. Perfect. Next is we have to go back here to the launcher for the page setup. And then we have to click on the sheet, the tab that says sheet. And then we will select black and white. We need to print. Now, if you wanna print the grid line, also you can do so. By default, it's not gonna be printed, but if you want, yeah, you can choose the option. So we need black and white, and then we're gonna do OK. Next, to set the print area. To set the print area. If you do not need to print the entire worksheet, setting the print area allow you to easily specify the section you want to print, right? So to do that, I will select C5 all the way to C10, F10. And then what I will do is I will go to the page layout, right? And then I will go to the print area. And then I will click set the print area. I will click on it. All right. Now let's go to file and print. So as you see that my print active sheet is this now. That's what the print area is, right? So I'm not able to see anything else except my mortgage data summary. Next is to name and print section of a worksheet. What if you are regular are going to print a particular section of a worksheet, naming the section allow you to specify that section whenever you want to print it. All right. So to do that, let's go back. So what I will do is we're gonna select C5 all the way F10, and then I will call this one as mortgage summary. In the name box, you have to type mortgage underscore summary. Press the enter key. So this one is been named. Now I will select C12 all the way to F24, and I will go to the name box and I will call these as my interest underscore schedule. So I'm naming this area. Now I will select H5 and then I will call this H5, the whole thing I selected from H5 to L24. I will call this the amortization underscore schedule, right? Now, finally, I will click the B2 all the way, and then I will call this as financial underscore tools and press the enter key. All right. So if you want to print, let's say I want to print the amortization. So I will click on the amortization, go to file, print, and then from here you will choose print selection and you see what you have selected is gonna be printed. So if you go back and your boss wants you to copy the interest, so you will go to the name box, you will select the annual interest rate. Let's go back here, the interest schedule, right? And then I will go to file, print, and you see here the varying interest rate schedule. Right. So the next thing now is how to protect the worksheet. So protecting a worksheet allow you to determine which cell a user can modify, and I don't want anybody else to keep on changing my worksheet, right? So to do that, what we want to do now is that we have to select D7 all the way to D9. These are the three values that I want the user to change it. These three values in this cell from D7 to D9. The rest I don't want, right? So then you will do right click on it and then you will go to format cell and then you will click the last tab protection and then you will remove the locked. So we are unlocking it, locked, removed, and click OK. Right? Now, after we did that, now let's go to review and then we will hit or we will click protect sheet and then We will click OK. Check the marks indicate what user can do. Select the locked cells, select unlocked cells, right? So I will click OK. Now, if you want to change, let's say the term to 30, I cannot see. Okay. But I can change this down payment 15%. See, right? I can change these three, D7, D8, and D, but I cannot do any changes to this. I cannot do anything. See, I cannot. It's protected, right? So Control Z to take it back to 10. Now, how you gonna hide and unhide a worksheet? So first we're gonna add a new sheet by clicking the plus sign here. Add new sheet, click on it. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do right click on the calculator and then we're gonna hit hide, right? So why do we need to hide and unhide a worksheet? You might want to hide a worksheet that contains sensitive data. Afterwards, when you need to access these hidden worksheet, you can unhide them, right? If you do not think you will need the worksheet in the future, you might choose to delete the worksheet instead of hiding it, right? To delete the worksheet, you will do right click and then the desired worksheet tab, and then you will have to click delete if you want to just delete it from the shortcut menu, right? Now, how can I pull it back, right? So that's why we put this new sheet here, sheet 2, right? So you will do right click on it and then you will say unhide the sheet, and then those sheet that you hide will be listed here. But in our case, we have only one that we hide it, the mortgage. So you will click OK. Now I can see it back. All right. So the thing is also you can go to view and then from here also you could do it. Hide and unhide. See? Hide and unhide from here. Next, to enable the background formula checking. So for this one, while you can run the formula checker at any time using the formula tab and error checking command, you might want Excel to automatically check your formula and alert you to an error as you work. So this is called working in the background, right? Through the Excel option dialog box. So let's see. And the other thing, why do we need the background formula checking? You want Excel to continue reviewing the workbook for errors in the formulas, and you create or manipulate data, formulas, and functions. Now to do that, we have to go back to the file. The last is below the account is option. Click on it. And then we have to go to formulas. And then here, error checking. Enable background error is already checked. All right. And then if you want different color other than the green, you can change it with any color you like. Right. And then reset, ignore the error button. So here, reset. All right. Now we have to click OK. Now, the other thing we can do here is if you have any error kind of stuff, right, it's gonna indicate in in a small green arrow. All right. So that ends my lecture and my video regarding financial functions, data tables, and the amortization schedule. I hope you have learned a lot from this video, and be sure that to subscribe to my channel and like my channel so I can create more nice videos like this to make you master in Excel. So next is you have to save, and then you will go to file, and then you can close it, right? Or you can just hit the X to close Excel. And that ends my lecture for today. I hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day. Thank you so much. Bye.